Oh yeah, it is yet another beautiful leg day, twice in 1 week, which I am not very accustomed to at this point, but we will get it done. And I think, sorry about that, it is definitely time for an upgraded camera and car mount. But that being said, we are back at it with yet another leg day this week. So, plan for this one is much different than the plan last time. We were doing 4 sets, 11 reps, only with 4 movements. And now we're doing with, I believe, I gotta look at the program again, but I'm pretty sure we're doing 7 movements, 7 sets, 7 reps, every movement. I mean, it's a little bit of a hefty schedule, but I do have a strategy for getting it done in a timely manner. Because if we don't superset or have multiple sets in a row, I mean, we're going to be in the gym for 3 hours. I mean, that's just a fact. So the plan, my strategy is to have the first 4 movements, or 4 sets, I should say, of each movement. They're going to be all in a row. We're going to do 7 reps each movement, but I'll treat them kind of like warm-up sets. Just put, I think we have like hack squat on there for one of the movements. So I'll do, a plate, then maybe a plate and 25, then a plate, 25 and a 10, and then 2 plates. And we'll do that all in succession with very little rest in between. Just so that way we can, get this workout done in a timely manner. And, I mean, we're not really going for complete obliteration this workout. I mean, the burn, believe it or not, is not where you get a lot of the gains, or at least I've felt like you get a lot of the gains. You get a lot of the gains just from stimulating the muscle, just from the mechanical tension. And you get that from, just doing your sets and pushing it close to failure, but not quite there, because that's where, you might be a little bit too sore for the next workout. And speaking of that, I might have pushed it a little too far this last leg day on Tuesday, because today is Friday, and I went super hard on pretty much everything, but especially lunges, and that was probably not the best strategy. We pushed it all the way to 80s, and we did 50-foot weighted walking lunges. That was freaking nuts. I was huffing and puffing after that one. But that being said, we got another weighted walking lunge movement today. So that being said, that one's only going to be 4 sets. But the main thing that I'm looking for in a lot of these different workouts is to not push myself too much, because I know I'm going to be hitting it at least twice a week. So except for pull. So pull is kind of an exception. That's the only day that I'm only hitting once a week. And I kind of take that as a compliment, because it means that I probably don't need to work on my back quite as much, because all we had this week was 14 sets for back. We had those lat pull downs, and then the and then the T-bar rows. So I didn't, it was a good training session, but I mean, I'm used to at the very least 20 sets per week. So it was definitely a little bit of a drawback this week. But that being said, we are back into the flow of things. And not that we weren't, it's just, today is going to be a little bit of a challenge, because I am definitely still very sore from that other leg day. So we'll do what we got to do. We got to roll out a little bit before our training session today. But that being said, if you're sore going into a workout, definitely take it a little bit easier. I mean, you might even have to just take the day off, because it might be counterproductive at the end of the day. But that being said, we are back into the flow of things, and yeah, really got nothing to add from that. I mean, I'll see y'all in there for a good old-fashioned leg day. Alright, so we have reached the end of this successful yet painful leg day. I did not anticipate how sore I would be from Tuesday, so I'll have to update my coach with that. But long story short, got it done. Sore pretty much the entire way through, especially it's like my left adductor, like my left inner thigh. It's extremely sore, and I was really feeling them on the lunges. But that being said, we got it done. We were aiming mainly for stimulation this workout. It wasn't so much, trying to go all out, try to get as much done as possible. But that being said, we already know kind of how the legs work, or kind of how the legs look, but let's see how the rest of the physique looks. Alright, for some reason, I cannot pull off a vacuum right now without it, being extra painful. So, what we're gonna do is, any time that I'm hitting a vacuum, we're just gonna show the abs, and that's about it. So, let's see how the abs look. Thought I had it. All right, that is the end of it was a successful leg day in that we got it done. But we're gonna have to rethink how we structure this program because I was way too sore for today, and honestly, we'll have to see, because the results speak for themselves. So maybe this is necessary for, exponential growth, but we'll just have to see in the next week or two once I'm fully recovered. So that being said, thanks for joining today, my friends, and I'll see y'all tomorrow, Saturday, first training session in a while for push. That's gonna be a fun one, because I'm ready for some push. I'm just about not sore enough to where I can push a lot of weight. No pun intended, except all the puns intended. Anyways, my friends, peace. Love y'all. Thanks for sticking around.